Hey everybody, it's me, Chris Hansen, Hansen CTX. I'm in my garage. See, I got the CTX out. Today we're gonna have some fun. I'm gonna make a video to show you how you can remove and install your front wheel. Hi everybody, Hansen CTX here in my garage working on my Honda 2014 Honda CTX1300 Deluxe. I like to do a lot of work on this bike because I feel that it's important for me to know how to do my own maintenance. I want to be able to take care of everything that I need. I've got all the tools necessary for the work on this bike, and the routine maintenance is actually quite easy once you get used to it. The first time you do anything, it's hard. Second time you do it, third time you do it, you get better practice. I've already produced a video for how to remove the saddlebags and how to remove the rear wheel and install the rear wheel, and thank you to all of you that have watched those videos. It's been really great. In this video I'm making how to remove the front wheel and how to reinstall the front wheel. I have to say it's a lot easier than the back. It's far easier. The challenges are, however, getting the front end off the ground. So I strongly recommend having a center stand or a means to hoist the bike up and then lifting the front end using a jack and using jack stands underneath the forks, or use a lift. Everything that I'm saying in this video is from my personal experience using the Honda shop manual, and I'm not trained, I'm not an expert. I don't have schooling in this, so this is just coming from what a DIY guy does at home, taking care of his stuff with years of experience wrenching on his own bikes. Another thing is, none of this is sponsored. I don't receive any money from anybody for these things. I do this for fun. You might notice I am wearing a Honda shirt. This just happens to be the dealership where I purchased this bike in 2014. All right, well, enjoy the film. Peace. So here's a description of tools you'll need for this job. It's pretty straightforward. You'll need a breaker bar, which is necessary to remove the axle. You'll need a wrench, socket wrench. You'll need a 12mm socket and a 22mm socket. You'll also need, I call these hex Allen wrenches, a 6mm. I prefer this type because it's easier to use with the torque wrench, but you can also use the hand type. Rubber mallet and some kind of tool to help you with removing the axle. This thing is perfect. It's just the right size for me to remove the axle. And string or rope or coat hanger, something that you'll need to use to keep the brake calipers from hanging on the hoses. You can put your motorcycle on its center stand. If it's installed, and once you have it on the center stand, you'll have access to the front wheel. Now, I've heard a lot of people talk to me about how they can get the front wheel in the air. And that's an important thing, because once it's on the center stand, you got the rear wheel in the air, but you don't have the front tire in the air. I use the Pit Bull, made in the USA. Pit Bull front tire lift. Let's get this bad boy on. After lifting the motorcycle on your front stand lift, you'll want to remove the brake caliper bolts using your 12mm socket. I've done is I've removed the 12mm bolts from the calipers. I lay them on the ground right underneath the tire, and I put them in order so I know which one's on the top and which one's on the bottom. And then I tie the caliper on. Did that on both sides. We're following this book item by item. Remove axle bolt. Loosen right axle pinch bolts. Loosen left axle pinch points. Remove axle and front wheel. It's really that simple. To remove the axle bolt, I use a breaker bar and a 22mm socket. Now, loosen the pinch bolts. The front tire was removed, pretty easy job. That's what it looks like when it's off. There's the tire. Putting it back on is in the reverse. So we're gonna do that in reverse. Pretty straightforward. I'm gonna slide it back on and I'm gonna hold it on with my feet and my legs because I kind of cradle the tire with my legs. And then I feed the axle back in. Once I get the axle all the way through, I'll put the axle nut back on. One thing that's important to say to everybody listening on this video is that your tire has a required tire rotation. It has to move in a particular direction. So pay attention to the tire rotation marks that are on your tires and that are on your wheels. Now I'm going to put this bolt right here just to get it started. Check this out. These are huge Allen wrenches. And one of those will fit in there. Let's try this one. Bada bing, bada boom. Man, that's awesome. That's a 17mm. It's a hefty boy. So, yeah, I can do it one of two ways. I can tighten these pinch bolts down and then cinch the axle in and then do it. But you know what? We're going to do it this way. What's the torque specs? It says it right here. Tighten axle bolt. For me, I like to use 44 foot-pounds. So there we go. We'll do 44 foot-pounds. And then as we look ahead, pinch bolts are 20. So think 44, 20. We'll set the big one up to 44. And I'll set the small one to 20. got to do the brake calipers. So we'll cut off those strings and put the brake calipers on. 23 foot-pounds for the 2 bolts for the brakes. So let's look at those. Okay, Moto friends, so the wheel is installed. The work has been done. Now I'm gonna just check all the bolts, make sure everything's tightened up the way they need to be, and operate the front brake, make sure the front brake is seated all the way, and the job is done.